Gotta give it up for Coach. Big shout out to the coaches. You see, my coach, he believed in me.
And welcome to another edition of TUFF Talk with Coach P. I, of course, am your man, Coach P, and we've got a great show for you today. In our last episode, we featured our first ever True to Self Athlete Spotlight, where we spotlight a player that is true to the grind, true to the process, and true to self. We took a deep dive into the young career of the junior quarterback, Eric Benitez of the Granite Hills Eagles. This young man is off to a great start, and I think he has nothing but greatness ahead on and off the football field. In today's episode, I have a very special guest that has climbed the ranks of youth, high school, college, and even into the pros. And his off-the-field journey has led him to the Limitless Sports Academy. Our guest today is Devon Walker, and we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about holdbacks. We're going to talk about the advantages of going to a prep academy versus going to a regular school, and what Limitless Academy has in store for the future. You are listening to TUFF Talk with Coach P. We'll be right back with Devon Walker on the other side of this commercial break.
The Standard is a youth mentorship program empowering young men ages 8 to 14 through athletics, personal growth, and structured guidance. Built on the values of discipline, teamwork, and integrity, The Standard connects sports with life lessons to help participants develop confidence, leadership, and strong character on and off the field.
And welcome back to TUFF Talk with Coach P. I, of course, am your man, Coach P, and I have a very, very special guest with me here today, Mr. Devon Walker of the Limitless Sports Academy. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And I'll just let you introduce yourself first and tell us what you're all about, because, and before you do that, very interesting the way you combine faith and training and that type of stuff. And I think that's awesome. But I'll let our listeners hear it from you, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Devon Walker. A lot of people know me as Coach Walker. You know, I was blessed to grow up in California, played a lot of sports from high school, Division I, pro, arena, all of that stuff. But it was a sport that changed my life. You know, I think that God gave me that lane as a gift to save me. And now I use it, to save others, create opportunities for people. You know, I own a sports academy that helps mentor kids as well as train them and prepare them mentally for success. I really think that that's needed. You know, if that wasn't there for me, I wouldn't be here. So Limitless is my opportunity to give back, you know, to all the kids in the community and even online. You know, I try to be an example as a minister to children, being a youth pastor, being a coach, national championship coach, a father of 6 kids.
Wow.
I'm happily married to my wife, Charlotte Walker. And yeah, man, I love all the families and people I come around, and I feel I'm just here to help. That's all I'm trying to do.
Oh, man, that's what's up. So take me back to your
Okay.
youth experience,
Yeah.
because that's what this show is all about. We like to take it back to youth, high school sports. Talk to me about your youth experience, and where was that crossroad for you? Who was that mentor for you maybe that got you started on this road to where you wanted to give back in your youth?
Man, I've had a lot. You know, I grew up in Compton first, I would say, and Coach Hilliard, Coach Walker, they were like my first 3 coaches in youth. I played for Long Beach Pop Warner. I was on a Pop Warner team. I played for the Panthers. My first year, I played center, right?
Wow.
And the coach was like, "Hey, man, like you only playing center because you don't work hard, right? That's the only reason. You're smart, you're talented, but we need you here because this is where you control everything, but you should be playing somewhere else." Man, they put me at wide receiver, running back, and I kind of never looked back. Me and Rodney Van also went to Long Beach Poly and UCLA.
Okay.
We was killing it. And then that mentorship kind of made me look different. But I'll be honest, because this is tough talk. I was still in Compton, right, in Long Beach, so I was in the streets a little bit. You know, I did a lot of things that people who know me now will never look at, you know, that I did that, but football was getting me out the way. And then, after my 9th grade year, I went to school in Long Beach. I got kicked out for fighting. I went to continuation school, then I went to Richard Garr High School in Cerritos, California, to
Wow.
finish my last 2 years playing. And Coach Marshall, and I'm 40 years old, and he's still the varsity coach there. Coach Marshall really was like, hey, man, you can really go far with this. Like, you playing around with all the outside activity, you could really focus on this. And him and Spoon, they started like pulling me in a little bit, making me work out extra instead of going to parties, start studying film. And I had Division I offers out of high school, but I didn't qualify for it because of my grades. I went to Cerritos College, and I had Coach Frank Mazzotta. Everybody know Coach Mo. Coach Frank Mazzotta and Coach Marshall, they kind of kept me on a little short leash and, really groomed me up, man. And as a kid, it was a blessing having Pete Carroll, Ken Norton, all these guys in my living room recruiting me just because some coaches wouldn't really let me go. I had a mom who was a single mom growing up in Compton, working at the McDonald's off of Central. You know what I mean? So she was doing the best she could, but when I got up, she was sleeping. And when I got home, she was off to work, working 12-hour shifts. And she went to Compton College trying to get her degree. So coaches had a strong impact on my life. They changed the trajectory by their mentorship, and words that they probably didn't think matter shaped me, to go in D1. And that's where the diversity changed my life. So that's the same thing I'm trying to do with these kids, man. Like, you never know what one conversation, one I believe in you, one pep talk, or one truth talk. Like, hey, here's where you at. You're either going to be a statistic or you're going to be a superhero, right? You're going to be a dude or you're going to be dead. Like, these are the conversations that they had with me, and it changed my life. So now I am trying to replicate that as many times as possible before God takes me off this earth.
You don't just show up, you show out every damn day. This ain't your average energy boost. Young Star Energy Gummies give today's future athletes clean fuel with real results. No jitters, no crash, just straight up energy and faster bounce back. Clinically shown to support energy, muscle recovery, and cellular health. Young Star, stay lit, recover quick, and level up. Young Star.
That's what's up. And not to make this about what we're doing with the standard, it's very similar to that. If we can reach these kids, and football and sports is really just a catalyst, man. It's really a way for us to teach these young men how to be better fathers, better brothers, better husbands, better sons, right? Using football and the lessons from football and sports as the catalyst. So that's the reason why we do what we do. And it sounds like, there's some synergy with Limitless as well. So take me on that journey, because you and I both know starting a program like Limitless has its challenges.
Oh, yeah.
From finding the actual facility to getting the money together and not only that, once you have all of that together, overcoming the hate and the crabs in the barrel. You understand what I'm saying? That want to hate you out of business before you could even open the doors, man. So talk to me about the process, man. Talk to me about that with getting this thing open and getting it off the ground.
It was a process. And to be honest, with where I want to go, it's not even there yet, right?
Right.
You go up, you get a couple setbacks, you go up, some people come alongside, leave, move. It's been a process, but I came off of being long story short, came off of being a free agent with the Baltimore Ravens. Then I went to arena football for 4 years. And while I started arena, I was training. I already had my degree in physical education. I started training, coaching a junior college, a D coordinator, went back to my old college, was a grad assistant and a coach, helped recruiting. I did all that stuff, and I started really falling in love with the outside part of the football, right? The preparation and helping people get into shape and doing all of that stuff. So I love that. And I started doing sports training at a facility in Washington. But then I moved to California, and I actually started working at Gold's Gym. I became the youngest vice president to run when it became EOS Fitness, right? I was over all the clubs, the training department, but I felt like I was working a lot of hours, wasn't seeing my kids. It was about a corporate stuff. I wasn't really making an impact. I was just making a lot of money and making numbers.
Right.
So my wife was like, just go for it. So she's the founder. She said, just go for it. And I was like, I don't know. And to be transparent, because you said, let's be truthful. At this time, I had a lot of other life changes that had me be like, man, I don't know. I had doubt, like everybody's going to have. And then, I had really went on a whim, was like, I feel God is telling me this. And I left a a high six-figure VP job to nothing, and we were struggling. She tried to get me to come to church. I was like, look, I'm going to go to church this last time. But if God ain't speaking to me, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep going. Being
Right.
transparent. I
Right.
walked into a church named Raymond Word Ministries, and the pastor at the time, Marcus Robinson, is now the leader and apostle. That's my spiritual father. I love him. Man, I'm coming into church with shorts and a tank top
Right.
because I really didn't care. He loved, I tell the truth, I really didn't care. Shorts, tank top, I'm tatted. I'm just sitting back there. My wife was like, let's just go. He prophesies to me. This man says, hey, I don't think you should be where you at. I'm like, what? He said, God is telling me that you have limitless opportunities. And there are people waiting on you to get this started. You're going to make an impact. He said, I don't know if you called here or not, but you called to California and people are waiting for you to start your own facility.
Wow.
And he just you said that, right? And from there on, I started Limitless. I didn't start it with sports. It was actually a fitness gym where I did sports training, weight loss. Man, I was all over the place
Right.
because I had to go get a building. And the building that I got blessed and I inherited from somebody. Like, you hear people say, oh, God don't do it for you. I had somebody where I was going to lease their facility so I can just start my career. And they said, hey, you've been cleaning up, you've been taking care of the facility, you've been opening it, you've been doing so good, you've been paying more than what you're supposed to pay. We want to sell it to you for half
Wow.
off. For
Wow.
half. Like the equipment, I re-signed the lease in my name and my wife's name and her mom's name, all three of us to guarantee it. And we did that. And it was going good. I just was all over the place. Like when you first open it up or when you first go hit your dream, having a business plan is good, but it's different till you start doing it. You get costs, bro. You get overhead. You get new construction, equipment breaking down, maintenance. Clients come, they go. And I was all over the place. And I met a man named Miguel Aguilar who owns all the self-mades. He owns Self-Made. He founded that place. And he basically runs like a barbershop for trainers. He was like, Devon, I don't mind sharing. He's like, man, you spending $15,000 a month and you only making a little bit more than that. What are you doing? I was like, man, I'm blessing the kids. It feels so good. He said, yeah, but moment of transparency. It's like, but your wife and two kids at the time, y'all living in somebody's room.
Right.
And he kept it real with me. So I'm saying that to let people know, just because you got a dream, bro, it ain't going to start good. In order to keep up with the finances, me and my wife live with one of our clients in their one-bedroom gym that they turned into a room because she believed in me and what I would do, and I believe what God said. But this man was like another mentor. It's like, hey, come to my gym. I'm going to let you rent my entire facility for under $1,000. You have the key. Use it as your business.
Wow.
So I started there, man. I started marketing, had a grand opening, just started getting everything together. And it was one parent asked me one day, can you train my son at 11 a.m.? I said, yeah, I'll train him. I said, when? Saturday or Sunday? She said, Tuesday. I said, nope. She said, what? I said, no, I'm not training on Tuesday. I ain't going to have no kid miss school just to work out. I said, it's books first. I wouldn't be where I was without books. She was like, calm down. My son is a homeschooled athlete and he has a 4.0 GPA. This allows him to work out and grow. And I was like, what school does he go to? And she was like, it's an online school out but he just need help training. So I
Right.
started training this one kid while I'm doing adults, former pro athletes. This one kid, and he was doing great. He was doing good in football, but his grades were low. So I took this one kid, was like, look, bro, I want you to meet me here. And before our session, you can't train until we finish your work. And we finish our work, we'll train. Long story short, he went from a 2.8 to a 3.5 GPA just with me. Just with me. We went to a 3.5. And then another parent was like, I heard he went higher. Can my son join? And before you know it, I have 5 kids in the office I was renting, me helping them with their work, and they're getting better grades while they're performing. And I
Wow.
was like, my wife was like, this is a good idea. I was like, yeah, I'm happy. She said, no, baby, you could really do this. Like these kids have more time to train. And that's truthfully how Limitless came about. It was kids from there, kids from my youth group, because I was the youth pastor at the time. And we were doing studies. We were doing biblical studies. We were working out. And then I rented a bigger building just for the classroom part. And me and now I hired tutors to start helping these kids on top of their the teachers from the homeschool. And then it just grew and grew. And that was in 2017, 18, 2019, COVID hit, and then we never looked back. Because
Right.
when COVID hit, no parent wanted to tutor their kids, right? They was
Right.
at home. So
Right.
even for high schoolers, elementary, middle school, once we got cleared and we were deemed necessary, I forgot what the proper word was, but we were deemed necessary.
Essential.
Essential. Yeah,
Right.
because we had doctors and chiropractors working on the kids, we were deemed essential. Once we did that, man, I went from 19 to 50 kids overnight. Now,
Wow.
although it was needed, a lot of parents stayed after COVID because their grades went up, their character was different. I had a freaking 8th grader benching 285, and they
Right.
were just like, it just blew up, man, and that's kinda how we got started. That was the short version, because I didn't share in the middle that we started. We were renting a church while I was at the gym, renting another place, and they try to charge me more when they see my success coming. And then, of
Man.
course, like you said, other people are like, "Hey, like, why would you do that? You don't have to do that. That's just a football school." Not knowing I sent a girl to Texas A&M for tennis
Right.
and 3 girls D1 for softball. Coach Walker, that's just a football player. And, yeah, he has a degree, but they don't know what they all that comes about, man. You just gotta let that part go. But then the buildings wanted to charge me more because when I started, I was small and they see my growth and I was doing a 1 year instead of a 3 or 7. So they try to up my price and double it. Then I'm trying to like, okay, we still gonna do it. Let me charge the parents more. And as they should, parents like, oh, I don't know if I can afford it. I don't know if they're coming back next semester, next year. So
Wow.
now I'm
Right.
having to do a downsize with the bare minimum, take out loans and stuff like that, and just try to make it work. While my checks is up, you wouldn't know that. Nobody
Right.
knew that.
Right.
Actually, I think you're the only person to get this exclusive to know the details. But internally, we kind of shut down. Like there were some employees that had to leave. I had to hire my wife, my sister, everybody else to come on and help us because it would be a better rate. But to the kids, it was nothing different. We kept pushing them, and I got blessed. Miguel got a bigger self-made that was 20,000 square feet. Partnered up with him on that, and I got a new building where I met the owner of the building. So instead of buying it, he let me lease on a beautiful lease. So now I have this big gym. I have this beautiful facility. Now kids have been through the program for 3 years and they're in high school and they're succeeding, right? They're
Right.
they're getting 4.1, 3.8, scholarship after scholarship after scholarship. Until this year, and the year's not over, I've had an 8th grader have a scholarship every year.
Wow.
A offer. Now we know they're non-committables, but they've had
But
offers
still.
and
Right.
they turned out to be later, right? So because of that, that's where the growth came from. And here's the last part. I gotta, so people understand. I wanted people to come alongside me because I didn't want it to be about Devon. So there's trainers and other trainers and workout people that was like, hey, let me build a team. So I'm not working a business until I'm
Right.
7 years old. Let me invest in a young man, kind of like Miguel poured into me, kind of how these other business people, like the person who gave me that first gym, let me let me let me help them. But, and I don't blame them. When you get somebody who has close, similar to equal or little under talent and you get them started, once they realize like you're paying them good, but they look like, but if I go do this on my own, I would get more, right? Or,
Right.
you know, you
Right.
build up, they come to Limitless, you give them access to all of these kids. And you see, I do marketing, promotion, they're doing great. And now, they tell Mrs. Jones, you paying, you paying X, but I can give you B.
Right.
And I'm the one doing it anyway, and
Right.
I mean, I don't blame them. I know everybody is like that. That's the hardest part is building a consistent team, and I'm not even saying those people are opportunists. You look at times when you working hard, but everybody isn't equipped to build. They want a quick career or a good job. I would say if anybody who wanna do something like this, that's the That's going to be your foundation. No, you don't want to hire friends and family because that could be
Right.
bumping heads in different ways. You mess up relationships. There's a business venture that I did recently with some people who were close friends, and I wish I never did it because we bumped heads because of business and it messed everything up.
Right.
So what I would tell somebody is start like as you write your business plan, as you start like checking the area, the locations and the buildings, all that is good. Your strategic plan, your marketing plan, that's beautiful. You better get a team that you know is solid and committed because that's what's going to take if you're trying to do it on this level. If
Right.
somebody just wants to have a couple kids, them be the only trainer and not have this big company, then yeah, you can do it yourself with a receptionist and a couple of tutors. But to do it on this level, you have to have a strong team that's going to be behind you and to be faithful with you through trials. Because some of the people, I don't blame them for having a dip or find other things because I told you we hit that hardship part to where, people don't know the backstory of, like I said, building leases, construction, overhead, employee overhead. So, some people did it because they wanted to get more lucrative jobs. And then some people did it because they can find different opportunity. But now I'm blessed with a solid team of people that see the full vision. They want to impact the kids more than have a high income.
Right.
Like, now we do both for them, but still, I have a different appreciation, they have a different appreciation, and we have now blessed a lot of kids, man. Even a lot of kids up there in San Diego, you might not know that they came from Limitless too.
Right.
The Standard is a youth mentorship program empowering young men ages 8 to 14 through athletics, personal growth, and structured guidance. Built on the values of discipline, teamwork, and integrity, The Standard connects sports with life lessons to help participants develop confidence, leadership, and strong character on and off the field.
Well, I mean, we just did young Zach Benitez, and he gave
That's
you a
my
lot of
guy.
for what you were able to do with him in that whole back year. And so I want to use that as a transition
Okay.
to talk about the whole back situation. For me, and I mean, I'm an old school coach. My son won a silver pigskin. We go way back to the youth football. I'm an old school guy. So I used to have really mixed opinions on
Yeah.
the whole back situation. Now with the landscape, particularly of college football and the transfer portal and NIL, I mean, if you really want to be the best that you can be, the whole back route, if your athlete is the right athlete now if your kid is not the right athlete, then that's something different. But if he's the right athlete, he's working hard, he's got the right body type for his position, he's getting it out the mud, he wants to eat right, he's doing what he's supposed to do in school, and you as a family have said, you know what, this football thing could really at the very least get you a full ride, then it's a no-brainer. You understand what I'm saying to do?
Yeah.
So that's
I
me, Coach
understand.
P, saying it. Now I want to hear you talk about it. Why, and it's not for everybody, but why for the right players is that not just an option, it's the only option.
Yeah, well, oh man, obviously this is a touchy topic. Every football
Right,
forum, chat, everywhere, right? And so people know from 2015 to 2019, I was against it too.
right,
So my first 3 years, I'm like, what, bro? Like, just come train, just work, earn it, do all that type of stuff. I've been through it from youth football to the NFL. So I'm like, you can do it, right? Coop is my guy. We used to talk about it too. When I used to play against Coop, we used to kind of not clown, but be like, man, look at these kids holding. But now, it's not that time has changed. I would say understanding has been more in
right.
right.
Yes,
Now understanding has been more in depth, right? We look at it this way. Before I give details, somebody who would have been regular, went to middle school, went to high school at 13, 14, graduated at 17, 18, they go to college, they're not ready, they do what? Redshirt.
right,
Anyway, right?
right,
What they redshirt for? To get the development, to get a leg up on the education, to get their body right so they're
right,
prepared to play, right? Essentially, that's what's being done here. What I would say is three things from what you said. Number one, You said it great. As good as I can. As long as the family set back and you see the potential in this athlete and you think, and I'll tell my parents, but we're not trying to go D1. We're trying to go to college.
Right.
D1 is what we're shooting for. But if you go to an NAIA, you go D2, D3, and you're going to get a degree with your name on it for free for a gift that God gave you, why not?
Right.
That's that part, right? But I will say this. You said for the right, it's a no-brainer. It depends on who you're with, right?
Right.
Because you can hold back and be at home. That doesn't mean you're going to be a better player because you
Right.
held back.
Right.
Yes, your testosterone is going to drop. You're going to be older. But what did you do during your holdback is what makes the
Right.
difference. That's how you make it worth it. Did you hold back, kind of work out, play for a youth football team, and just dominate a weak division? And now you're like, I'm ready? No, you played against weaker people. You were older than them and bigger. But
Right.
if you hold back, you do like we do. You're on a nutrition plan. You're getting tested every month to see if your numbers are going. You're lifting weights properly,
Right.
learning your form, learning how to break down film, training in depth at your position, and building your brand. By brand, I mean your Twitter, learning about GPA, recruiting. If you did that, that's a great holdback year. And what the third thing is, it's not even necessarily for the right athlete. It's for not like the eye test. Because I always tell my kids the truth. Hey, bro, you don't pass the eye test, so
Right.
you can't take a break. You don't pass the eye test. And then I tell another kid, like I sent a freshman to MV who was 6'5", 220 pounds as a freshman. And I'm like, hey, bro, you passed the eye test, but your work ethic, your
Right.
grades, right?
Right.
So it depends on where you hold back to be successful. And the right kid and the right family is the ones that come to the realization that we're not just going to hold back. We're going to make the most out of this year. Little Johnny could be 5'6", 100 pounds soaking wet, but he can make the most out of that year if he's eating on his macros correctly. And we reshape their mind. Like we really do. At Limitless, we got a lot of character words. I do leadership class every Friday to where I'm like, hey, this is honor this month. We working on integrity, and we do both, motivational people and scriptures and combine it. But to that parent who's thinking about it, this is what I tell you. What negative impact will holding back have? That's what somebody had to tell me is what negative impact would it have other than their friends are in another grade? There's done correctly, there's no negative impact to it. You only make it a negative impact when you don't work out, you don't train, you don't get serious, you don't lock in, you don't take your studies more serious. Then
Right.
I can see that. But even if you, not gonna say even if you don't, if you do that and you don't do none of that, you wasted your time.
Yes.
That is no point. What you hold back for, holding back doesn't make you a great player. Holding
Right.
back doesn't make you a good basketball player, other than the fact that yes, testosterone come, you're going to grow. But the people who make the most are the people like what Zach said. And I don't know if you know that Eli McNeil from Carlsbad was here
Yes.
with Zach. And
Yes.
so was Jesse Wilhite, Nehemiah from Carlsbad. They were all here. Will Flores, the running back from Don's. They were all here. And those are kids who made the most out of it. And the parents made the sacrifice to drive from San Diego and Oceanside because they wanted them to hold back the right way. The
Right.
problem is people hear retention. You think it's easy, it's automatic. Some people think it's cheating. It's not. It's just a calculated thing for your child's career. If they can get up in academics, which is my most important one, if you're going to hold back when you go to high school, you better have a 3.85.
Better.
You have to. That's why at Limitless, if you can't be in our program without having a 3.5 or above, you can't
I love that.
because we give you so much. I'm going to push you, and we give you so much help. You almost have to work to get that. So there's no way you hold back and your academics don't become easier the next year because
Right.
people get the misconception, oh, they already did that work. No, no, no. Programs like us, we know how to get it. We ask that they do that work, but on an accelerated level. Where last year they would have done 8th grade or 7th grade, just at where they were at. when you're homeschooled and you in programs like this, we have the ability to bump it up. We can't put a ninth grade class on their transcript because it will mess up their transcript, but we can push their eighth grade classes to the highest level. So
Right.
now that's why some of our kids go to high school and they get 4.1s because now they're taking higher level classes. They get the higher GPAs. But that is the number one reason is academics. I know people don't think that, but it's academics. Number two, you get to focus on building the athlete mentally and physically as well, not counting number three, the natural growth that comes from their testosterone and their growth regardless. Now, if that kid would have hit his growth spurt his junior year, now he's hitting it his sophomore year. So he has a little bit more varsity film for CIF. No, you don't got to get offers your freshman or your sophomore year. But by junior year, imagine if some of the kids who doing what they're doing their senior year would have did that their junior year.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
We don't hold. You don't hold back for youth sports.
For the ones putting in work when no one's watching. From the early risers to the late night ballers. Introducing Youngstar Creatine Gummies. The clean science-backed creatine gummy made for today's athlete. Boost strength, train harder, and recover faster. Youngstar, fueling today's future athlete. Youngstar.
That's stupid.
Right.
Excuse my language, but it
No,
is.
no, no.
You,
No, it
you don't-
definitely it
You don't hold
definitely
back for
is.
youth sports.
And I think back in the day, that was the misconception, right? Because wasn't a lot of information about it, and it was kind of frowned upon. But when
It
you look at
was.
when you look at it right now, I've definitely had a change of heart. But you know, and I won't say for the right athlete, but for a qualified family, because
That's it.
the family has to be bought in. The family has to understand. I always say that if my child was 3 years old and he's got in front of a piano and start playing it and he was really good at the piano, I would take extra steps, right, to make sure that we embellish that. I don't think we shouldn't look at sports any differently. If
Correct.
God has given our young athlete, that ability, I believe that we should embellish that the way we would any other thing. If the kid was reading books at 3 years old, we would embellish that as well. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's how I feel about that. But I wanted to hear it from you, how you feel about that. So I want to transition just a bit about where you see Limitless in the future. One of the things I would like to do with the standard, and we're having a therapy session in here, man. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things I would like to do with the standard is I do want it to be a prep academy, middle school. I don't want to compete with high school, but we do want to have that prep academy. What are some of the goals that you have in terms of the school? Where do you see it going? Do you see it becoming high school? What's the goal?
When I was at EOS and I told my wife this, my son Axon is he's a pretty good athlete. I knew he was gonna be because he's my son. I was gonna push him. But as far as he wanted to go, I was like, he gonna go to Gorman. Then I found out about IMG. And I said, you know what? Limitless is gonna be the IMG of the West Coast. Right? That's kind of the platform of what we were really trying to build. That's not for everybody else. Somebody can come along and build that. They can be that. I want to be an IMG for middle school athletes. I want them to be able to go on to CIF and experience that and do all that. And I still train our athletes. When they're in high school, they can come back to the facility and train. But after being in the business, since 2000, oh my God. Wow. 10 years. The end of this year will be 10 years.
Man, that's what's up.
After doing it for that long, it's like my goal has not changed. It's not been minimized. It's been centrally focused. That's what I'll say. I want to have a middle school to where like it's on another level to where you get the top of the line, everything technology. And yes, maybe we even have our own teams. Like IMG have their team, they dominate everybody. We kind of do that in a sense, but I don't want Limitless having a team because I don't want to compete with the coaches because they get like that. I don't want to compete with the coaches and organizations, so they don't want their kids to come.
Right.
That's what I'm not trying to do. But I want to be known for making a huge impact that completely changed the trajectory. So I want to make it so that we're bigger and we can harvest more kids without lowering down a product, right?
Right.
I really want to take over all of California, and it's not a bad takeover. A lot of business people say that. I'm not thinking takeover. I want to take them out of the hands of the wrong directions, and that don't even necessarily mean streets basketball. What I mean by wrong directions is you might have a great athlete that is getting distracted by TikTok, right?
Right.
And video game, especially
R-
middle school athletes,
Right.
and
Right.
still a brain rot and all these other things. I want to be the home and the mecca to where, hey, your athletes between the fourth and eighth grade, they're going here. They're the mecca for every sport: indoor soccer field, football field, indoors, baseball. That's what I want. That's all I want to do it and essentially have it done for middle school athletes. They can go play for wherever they want to play, but when you in school, and I even want to extend the day after you do our strength and conditioning program, strictly baseball training, strictly basketball training, strictly football, and we have our own track, and it's coming.
The Standard is a youth mentorship program empowering young men ages 8 to 14 through athletics, personal growth, and structured guidance. Built on the values of discipline, teamwork, and integrity, The Standard connects sports with life lessons to help participants develop confidence, leadership, and strong character on and off the field.
I'm
I
just gonna
believe,
try.
I,
That's all I can say is it's coming.
man. Hey, I believe it, man. And I tell you what. Like I said before, and I mean this. I'm praying for you and your family.
Yeah,
I'm praying for the Limitless brand. I speak life into what your mission is,
I
brother.
received.
If there's anything that that I can do to help move your movement further, it's a phone call away. I am of the notion that brothers like you and we definitely need to stick together in terms of the mission. And the mission is teaching the next generation how to be better men, how to
That's
be
it.
better fathers, how to be better brothers, because that's what it's all about. Football and sports is awesome. I love football. I have 4 biological children and then another 3 children from my wife, and
Hmm.
football is my next child. I could not
Yeah,
love
I feel you.
anything more than I love football, but it's not about that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about
Trust me,
making
I
these
get it.
guys better men. So when I saw what it was that you were doing, and for this interview, I had to do some research. Man, I really feel a connection to what it is you're doing, and I'm praying for you for real. I want to see you win. I
Appreciate
want to see all those visions that God put into you, brother. I want to see them happen. And that's the thing too. A lot of the times when we come out and say, "Hey, man, we want to do these things," and we tell people,
it. Yep.
because that vision wasn't put in them, and it's too big for what their imagination is, right? They want to tell you what you can't do.
Yep.
So I again want to speak life into you, brother. You could do it, man. You could do it. I believe in you, and I'm here to support it, man. So I definitely,
That's
before we
huge.
went any further, man, I wanted to get that out the way, brother.
Man, that means a lot. I really do appreciate that, and I do think it will be done. I'm blessed to where I speak differently. I don't have to do it. God has done this much, man. I know He's going to do it because it's
Right.
His purpose, right? We don't talk about that a lot, but I'm not gonna blast none of these kids, but if you talk to some of these kids, I know you talked about the football. Talk to them about the standard that I have at the school, right? It's a standard, but I'm like an uncle to all these kids. It's been some kids in some different situations, even if they come from a wealthy home. Here
Yes.
and here is
Yes.
different situations. Then some don't come from that. I had a kid I had to pick up. I didn't see him for 2 days because his house got shot up from where he was coming from. Had to really pick him up and make sure he didn't result. Like God put me here to do that. I think that's why I've been through some of the I made the bad choices that I did up until college because there's nobody I can't relate. I done been at the mountain. God didn't allow me to be at the mountaintop. He humbled me and picked me up when I've been low. And I've put myself low from some wrong choices, but he's brought me through them all. And he's
Right.
brought me through. So when I see somebody, I'm gonna be like, oh, like, nah, bro, I feel you. But here's what you can do. I've
Right.
been through that. Look what I did. And because
Right.
of that, and I told my wife, as long as that stayed the focus, like we tried to grow super big last year and we lost the focus. As long as that's the focus, I'm telling you, God's gonna get it done. I've seen him do it before. I told you that first person handed me a gym.
Right.
God's gonna get it done, and eventually the right people is gonna come alongside. And man, by that time, some of these kids gonna be in the NFL, and they're very gratefully and appreciative for what we
Right.
was able to do for them.
Right.
It's
Right.
he gonna make a way. God gonna make a way.
That's the
But
thing.
I appreciate and receive what you said, but a lot of people don't talk like that. I do that, and people think I'm looking for something. No, I speak life into people because
Yes.
we have too much competition. Even with people who have done me wrong, when I come back and be like, "Hey, man, good job, good luck," they be like, "Oh, he don't mean." Yes, I do.
Yes.
I don't hold no grudges. Yes, I do. You got to forget that, Pat. All
Yeah.
old things pass away. Good job. So
Yeah.
hearing that from another brother, man, that mean a lot. I know you got my information, but get my number. We can connect. And how I can help you, let me help, because it's not about, oh, I know this. Let me hold my resource. The resource isn't for me. It's for the people that we're going to impact and that you're
Right.
going to impact, right? I have to tell local people, hey, I'm not tripping if you know this and know that, because no different than David. Whatever's meant for me, it ain't gonna pour out on nobody else.
Thank
I don't
you.
care how close they
Thank you.
are to me. If it don't go, it don't go. I'm not gonna
But
be mad. That means it wasn't meant. But it's going to, because it's only meant for me. So if it's anything I can share, anything from how to get started, how do you need to plan? What do you need? How does it actually work? I had somebody hear me on the phone telling somebody that, and they go, "You're telling them your business plan, blah, blah." For what? They're all the way over there. Even if they were in Temecula, Marietta, what's meant for them is
is
meant for them. What's
yeah.
meant for me is meant for me. So whatever I can do, man, hit me. I
I,
got you, because the more kids we impact together, I like to take pride of, hey, I at least helped him with this. And look at all these. Look at this man blew up. He got 500 kids. Like,
I love it.
beautiful. Look at
I
all these
love it.
families that you created, all these young ladies that you created. And now these people become families, and they become, look at
Right.
Coach G and Coach Marshall. I'm doing what I'm doing now because of one coach helped one little struggling little black boy from Compton. Imagine what all these other kids are gonna do and be. We don't know the impact they're gonna have. So hit me. I got you for anything.
I appreciate that, man. I'm definitely gonna hold you to it because I'm definitely going to need it. I think that this burden that I have, and it's a good burden, but it's a burden that I have with a purpose to help these young men, and
Yeah.
particularly young men that look like me, right?
Yep.
So
That's
for
real.
me, yeah, for me, I like to with okay, so with standard, we work with the worst of the worst. You know, when we go into the police department and hey man, give us the worst kids. Those are the ones that, or what society thinks is the worst kids, the kids that are being
Yeah.
thrown away. When really all they just need is some strong love, man. They need to know
Yeah.
that, hey man, I'm not gonna leave you. I'm here for you. You can mess up, but it's not gonna push me away. You could try to
Yeah.
push me away, but I'm not going nowhere. I love you, young man. I'm gonna be here for you. So for me, again, that's the purpose. So I'm definitely going to hold you to that.
I
And
got you.
man, and vice versa. So before I let you go, let everybody know where they can find you, how they
Okay.
can take advantage of your program. If you have any camps or clinics or anything like that coming
Yep.
up, go ahead and make that be known right now. And then also offline, I'm going to get your information. I'd like to help in any way that I can in any camps, clinics, anything like that, even if it's
Perfect.
just a media situation, video, that
Yeah.
anything I could do to help perpetuate what you got going on, brother, is a phone call away the end. You feel me?
Perfect.
So the floor is yours.
Yeah, man. So you can find us at IamLSA.com. IamLSA is Limitless Sports Academy. So it's just IamLSA.com. I think Spoon is done with the website. We have to redo it. So you have to move some people off of there. But IamLSA. If by the time you look at this, that website should be up. If not, we're on Instagram and Facebook. I got somebody helping our Instagram, so quicker response is to go to Limitless Sports Academy. That easy. At Limitless Sports Academy is our business page. My page is Limitless Coach Walker on Instagram. Is where you can see videos, see what we're doing. You can message me directly. Get my number on there. I'm not gonna put it on here, but you can get it on there and do it that way. We do speed training after school. It's not just a sports academy. Some of them kids have got built after they go to regular school. We still do speed training, strength training, and things like that from 3:30 to 7:30. We do things like that. So lots of opportunities, man. Not just for football, basketball, track. We do strength and conditioning. We do intro to weightlifting, speed training, change of direction, plyometric. Even not as much, but even for adults, I don't train them, but I write programs for adults, and our trainers train them as well for weight loss. We do anything we can help you. Also, at the Limitless Coach Walker, go to Limitless Coach Walker on Instagram. I have a private men's group where we have men, married or not, majority married. We do scriptures and we write workout plans and diets with each other. It's not publicized. I'm telling you this. You can go look on my page. You don't see it nowhere, but we go over scriptures, have like a short men's Bible study, or I might just send a video that day. So men, and I'm calling out just to men, we need each other, right? We need each other to hold each other accountable in the gym and in life, right? You know, it'd be some struggle. So I got that there. Message me for that. And the biggest thing is, even if you're not out here, I would say make sure you got your kid with the right person. Don't go into the glitz and glamour and highlights. You don't know the person. Look at the history, the results, not just what they've been through, because every professional athlete can't make a kid a pro. You got to look at what they produce. And, you know, we got 37 Division I athletes and a lot of high school ballers that's balling in multiple sports. The Limitless Sports Academy is a great place for both sports, mentorship, faith, and everything you need, man. We're a one-stop shop. So, yeah, man, I appreciate it. Appreciate being on it.
All right, brother. And I got you, man. And again, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for all you do out there for those young men. You and the family are definitely being my prayers. This has been a great show. So, man, for all the listeners out there, go check my guy, Devon Walker, out, Limitless Sports Academy. And, Coach, thank you so much for coming on the show. You are listening to Tough Talk with Coach P. We'll be right back.
You don't just show up, you show out every damn day. This ain't your average energy boost. Young Star Energy Gummies give today's future athletes clean fuel with real results. No jitters, no crash, just straight up energy and faster bounce back. Clinically shown to support energy, muscle recovery, and cellular health. Young Star, stay lit, recover quick, and level up.
And welcome back to Tough Talk with Coach P. We've had an amazing show with Coach Devon Walker of the Limitless Academy. They're doing some really good things. The biggest takeaway that I have from this interview and this message today is that there are a lot of great men out there that are doing good work with our young athletes, both on and off the field. And Coach Walker is no exception to that. Here at Tough Talk with Coach P, we want to be a resource to the coaching community. We want to be a resource to these young men and women that we are so proud to serve. Thank you so much for listening to Tough Talk with Coach P. We'll see you next time. I'm out.
Gotta give it up for Coach. Big shout out to the coaches. Shout out all the coaches. You see, my coach, he believed in me since jump. I'm a product of his coaching. Gotta give it up for Coach. Big shout out to the coaches. Yeah. You see, my coach, he believed in me since jump. I'm a product of his coaching. Gotta give it up for Coach.